Hello, SpeedGaming. Welcome to No Logic Tournament 2024. This is Chexhuman versus Skele, game 2 of 3, or of 2, depending on how this one goes. I am Malmo, joined by Spleeby. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Glad to be here.
Chex won the last race. They are playing for a chance to race Mr. Buyer in the next round, who just finished his series with Tam this morning. This is a lower bracket match, which means that if the person who loses will be out of the tournament. The person who wins will have to fight their way up to get to the finals to race, one of either me or Tam. So 2 Sank starters.
This is the Puzzle Games MSU. Good choice.
A good choice because No Logic is a little bit of a puzzle game on its own.
That's definitely true.
It's a lot of figuring out how to beat the game. It's one of the few modes where being in go mode is actually interesting and not just going through the motions most of the time. Sometimes go mode is the hardest part of the game. Good triple for Chex. Chex routes to maximize these resource grabs in the early game. You'll see him go for 2 triples and 1 bush crab. Skele gets the bow from Thief Dropdown. Chex will get that as well. Oh, a flute.
The pickle, which is magic pack enemies.
Yes.
Have a good pack.
That means that the Ice Palace will have that stuff in it. Chex saw a flute on Lumberjack. He's not going to get that flute. Before you get too excited, Aga 1 still will not die. It looks good. It's like, ooh, a flute. But actually, while flute is a really nice convenience and No Logic, it is not worth fighting Aga 1 for. At this rate, somebody's just going to do it to spite me. Maybe this will be the seed.
I don't know, even if that was like a rod, we would probably still not get it.
You would keep it there until go mode.
Hope to find the other one.
Yeah, it's just like a sword on Lumberjack and any other seed. You wait until the end of the game and you're like, okay, fine, I guess I need that. It's not that slow to do Aga 1, but killing Aga 1 changes the world in ways that can make No Logic harder. When you don't have a Moon Pearl, you want to take advantage of fake Dark World. Which, certain methods of getting fake Dark World where you can do Dark World screens as Link do not work if you've defeated Aga 1. The bow is already being put to good use here as a switch hitter in Tower of Hera. Skele will probably go down and rescue the old man. It looks like Chex and Skele are both going up the mountain different ways. Chex doing the old man rescue the traditional way. Yeah, this is why I like just clipping through. Because notice how, like, when you're doing the 2-dash method, you, like, dash buffer twice and then dash across. You have to, like, pause to regrip your controller, and that's usually enough time to get hit if you're getting bad RNG from the cabbages. And if your clipping is good, you're probably not actually saving time by doing that. You're probably better off just clipping all the way through. It is good, though, if you are not comfortable with your clips. Because it minimizes the number of dash buffers you have to do.
I usually just avoid going down to Graveyard Ledge until I have a sword.
Yeah, it's I don't know, people like to do it early because it's your first bombs. And going anywhere without bombs is pretty terrible.
Yeah, it's true.
It's also a good way to get Houlihan, which is a little more important in no logic when we're more likely to spend lots of money. And Skele considers the bomb so important that he's going back in to get more. I think Chex may have done that as well. Skele's gonna go all the way to 10.
Go on a third trip, yeah. Wow.
Alright, green pendant pod from Sahasrara. Knowing pod is a pendant can be a little dangerous in no logic. Because you might avoid going there entirely and miss out on something good. But pod is also a way...
Sorry, it's one of the easiest dungeons to get to in the early game.
It's also one of the easiest dungeons to put off, but it can be a good way to get to Hookshot Cave without a Moon Pearl, using other glitches. And knowing that you don't have to defeat Helmasaur makes that decision a lot easier. Because usually you're doing one or the other and not both. Skele is doing a check that Chex often doesn't do at all. So it's worth taking note of what he finds here because it could matter in the race.
Meyer small key, not so much.
Not so much. That's a key you might not even have the opportunity to spend.
But in no logic, we'll often see runners just skipping small keys entirely if they're a little slow to get, because a lot of them don't matter much.
Theo Skele knows the bonk. Good.
Nice.
Did he do it right? Yes. He did grab the chest, which is a common thing to happen. You had to
Just
face sideways and... Wow, that was close. Okay, Chex is getting the map of Ice Palace from King's Tomb, which is in Mini Moldorm Cave. If you use the door the wrong way, you'll end up there.
What happens if you don't grab the chest?
Oh, grabbing the chest is a mistake. He was trying to
Okay.
dash, and he pressed A while on the chest.
Yeah,
But you
I
want
thought you were saying that he had to.
No. But the other way to do it wrong is to continue holding down after the bonk, and then you get this like stair drag, which can mess up your movement.
Yeah.
There was a sword in Waterfall, however, Chex is also doing this, so that is no longer an advantage to Skele. It's now something both runners will have, assuming Chex survives this trip. Which is not a given. The crabs are pretty hard to dodge if they give you bad patterns. Skele made good use of the bow when he was there. Just more than you usually have. The Chex is not bonking. This is something Mr. Beyer timed for us. He wasn't even including the fact that you have to splash out of the cave and already found it to be faster to bonk. The other way to do it wrong is to do it when you have flippers, which you really don't want to do because it puts you back in swimming, and then you have to cancel the swim again on the pit.
Oh,
which is way slower.
Does it still warp you to the door and put you in swimming?
I think it just puts you in swimming at the ice rod.
It just dumps you up by the chest.
Yeah,
oh
you have to swim to the door and then find the pit.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's not a soft lock, it's just definitely a time loss. And a little disorienting.
So Chex has like 250 more rupees than Skele did.
Oh, Chex is also going to actually... Yes. This isn't a check Skele will not get. Unless he gets really desperate. Maybe Skele has the advantage of 500 rupees over Chex, because that check did not give Chex anything worth getting. Skele also being very kind to us, making sure that we can see the map. You can open the chest without fixing your camera, but then you can't see what it is. And you have to rely on your auto tracker or audio cues, or you have to watch your HUD. Skele is in Kakariko a little early. He doesn't have the item that you would want to have, which is a way to get to Thieves Town Attic from Desert. That would be something like a bottle or a cane of Samaria. Probably hoping to just find one here. Looks like Ether on Bombo's tablet. No, Ether on Ether tablet. Yes. Ether is on the correct tablet. Is this casual boots? This is one of those things. This is no logic.
You did start with boots.
We were starting with boots before casual boots existed. So far, nothing but Glove in Kakariko Village. Glove is a convenience at best. Sword in... Yeah, sword in the Spiral Cave.
Probably dupable.
It is dupable, but it's also...
Be a long trip.
One of the worst ones to dupe. Waterfall Fairy might have actually been worse, but... They're not going to dupe to Tempered from here. Duping to Tempered would pretty much require you to spend less than a minute on the dupe to get the time back, unless you end up with the Master Sword Silverless Cannon. Ice Rod in Paradox 2. There are 2 of each rod in the pool to prevent unbeatable seeds, and also to keep the game competitive so that people are more likely to be in go mode with lower equipment and have to show off their skills. The powder is also a good item, and so is the boomerang for the same reason. Both of them are potentially tools for hook pushing if the hook shot turns up later. And even if it doesn't, the powder and boomerang together are a good way to set high search index for Overworld Conveyor, which is also a misslotting glitch that can be used to do things like Cave State Mire. It's a less commonly used glitch than hook pushing if you had the equipment.
We're seeing a play to escape already. I had just Agatha.
This might be a Chex trying to get a Cave State big key from the escape. He hasn't found one yet. There are 4 keys in the game that will open big key doors when you're in a cave. One of them is the Hyrule Castle key, which is a guaranteed key. The other ones are like Ganon's Tower, Thieves Town, and Pod, which are just in the pool and you have to find them. So if your next play is to go to Pod or somewhere where you're going to do it in a cave, you usually want to do this first. So Skele, having nothing to go to Thieves Town Attic, will instead do a quadrant glitch to get to the right side of Desert without the small key. This will not bomb the attic, but it will at least get him the items. Alright, that's a funny time to get the Castle Tower small key for Chex.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
And I agree, this is a cack delay strat for Chex. He does not want to be in the situation Skele is in, where he has to do this glitch, which is really slow. And doesn't have...
This quadrant glitch was less common now, but in my last commentary, both runners did it, and now a third one here.
I agree. I almost think it's anti-meta to do this, but people are still doing it.
Swords.
Yeah. Nobody's duping any swords. Skele probably getting some mystery items here. He doesn't have the luxury of showing us what he got, because you don't always get to fix your camera.
His tracker's showing a red boom and a bug net?
The red boom was found, and the bug net was found. Those were like in Kakariko or something.
I'm paying attention, I swear.
So Relkin was paying attention to the HUD and saw money. Okay, I guess you can teleport up there. That always looks like it'll soft lock.
Oh, we're just not gonna go and check what's in there?
So Chex got what he needed, which is the bottle.
Skele, I mean, picked up this rock and then started clipping out.
Oh. I guess. So the bottle, I didn't notice what was in the bottle, but that is Chex's answer to Desert Thieves. If the bottle has anything in it, red or green potion, he can use it here to get to Thieves instead. Yeah, he's gonna go to Thieves straight away, which makes sense because he's already here. He also can't do all of Thieves from Desert, but he can do all of these from here. And this is one of the things you want a Cave State Big Key for. Because these maiden cell locks don't open without the big key. Surprised Chex doesn't open that door, but I guess he has no faith in finding the hammer. Or
and the small key.
He'll be in Cave State doing this again, so actually it's fine.
Unless we're really hurting for money, this seed or something.
I didn't catch what Skele saw on Bomba's tablet. Tracker is showing a bottle, and that's not the escape bottle. So Pod's small in Bomba, so we won't be getting that. I did see a mushroom in back of escape, which is... Skele is probably happy to see that as an alternative to powder, but the powder is available, and he'll probably get that very soon. Oh, the Desert Palace invisible chest was a bottle. Our astute tracker noticing that either in the quick swap or in Skele's tracker. Skele seeing ether on the ether tablet.
Not getting the shield?
No, they already dodged the shield in the woods. So they already can't get the best shield. Swamp? Swamp?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, energy.
That's how.
I don't... Skele, no! Don't make us go on a tangent again.
Surely Chex knows about it.
For those who don't know, you should dash through the second Bari. If you see it electrifying, all you have to do is cancel your dash, bleed a few frames by canceling it up, and then re-dash. And it will be faster than trying to use a weapon. Chex has to get LSD blind to keep that door open so he can continue the play. Rod on blind. Relying on chat to tell us the color. Apparently it was red. Okay, Relkin says it's blue.
Texas Auto Tracker says it's red.
Okay, Chex is an auto tracker. Thank you. Thank you, Muffins.
Right, I remember the Chex's trackerless days.
Yeah, I remember mine as well. I mean, I used to literally not use a tracker, and then I had to play co-op. And it wasn't fair to my partner to not be tracking my items. Also impossible to keep track of their items and my items. Alright, Chex. I'm a little worried about Chex because he was in one-hit KO, and it's really easy to get blind Zazacked in here.
Should be fine now that we're in the actual dungeon. If he dies, they'll just go back to the front. And we're already in fake Dark World.
Yes. He's being a little careful because he does want to get the crystal from Thieves Town. Assuming it is a crystal.
Oh, vanilla big key? Wow.
Looks like we know it's a crystal because it's on his HUD.
I was going to say dying is still slower, even though it's not a huge time loss.
Yeah, it is. The big key is pretty funny because the only time you'll ever get that normally is if you happen to have the Moon Pearl. Does Chex bonk there because it sets up an optimal crystal? I wonder if that's something he's looked into.
I don't know.
Did that look like a good catch? It looked like an average catch to me.
Way too high.
Yeah, that was not a setup for an optimal crystal. Skele's very much covering Chex's tracks.
He's getting his sword in his bottle.
Chex gets silver arrows.
We got silvers, yeah.
We have to start thinking about whether one additional bottle puts them in go mode. Sometimes you need 3 bottles when you have very little else. Usually that's because of Swamp. Sometimes it's because of Mire. Chex doing a nice job routing in the powder and bottle checks. Using the fake Dark World. The fact that when you screen transition, you go back to Light World. Skele will have the advantage of getting to get the second chest here, which will turn into a disadvantage if it's nothing.
Check's finally doing Kakariko.
Oh, that's right. He's not just doing the bottle check. He's doing all of it. There wasn't very much here. I think the glove in Blind's hideout, plus Skele found a bottle somewhere.
Maybe the red boom?
Yeah, the red boom was here.
Might have been here. Which is actually useful in this mode. If we get a hook shot. That's the real reason I don't play No Logic anymore. Having to take the red boom. Skele's also going to Thieves Town, like we saw Chex do earlier, but with the green potion. There's the glove.
So Skele got the maiden first, but if you're doing the attic here, it's faster to get the maiden the second time because you have to do it anyway. But being able to get the maiden first is one of the benefits of doing a Desert Thieves play early, which neither of them was able to do. I mean, Chex will be able to now, but it's no longer needed.
There's the red boom on race game. Easy grab here. Man, the trip back down to get the maiden just feels so bad.
This is why I'm a big proponent of Desert Thieves.
Yeah.
Chex pushed it so hard that he actually just found the bottle when it was convenient to do Thieves. And the other bottles here in Desert, you didn't really have an opportunity to do Desert Thieves. So Chex did not get the blue mail. Skele did get that blue mail. There's a lot of back and forth between whether it's good to get blue mail or not. I think most people agree that it's good to have blue mail, but also most people agree that it's bad to have red mail, and if you get blue mail, you run into the risk of getting red mail. Unfortunately for Chex, he will have to spend a little more time setting up death warping here, just for having more health. He at least, you know, maybe one of the reasons he didn't get blue mail was because he knew he'd be doing this death warp and didn't want it to mess that up. He gets to see the item. It's not the bottle. It was the overworld. Yeah, Fire Rod was on blind. We saw that for Chex. Yeah, if it was there in Desert, then you would go to Thieves Town Attic next. Unless it was an empty bottle. But I thought I saw it have something in it for Skele. Chex loses time by having the sword and having to go through the Bombos animation.
Just for a pod small. Like the least useful small keys. I keep stopping myself from humming along to the music. It's just so good.
That's what push to talk is for. I'm a little surprised to see Chex doing Desert now. Well, Chex can go back to Agina because he has... Well, he's gonna have VRAM, but he can still do it. It's not out of the question. I mean, he should know the way. It's not like VRAM breaks your game, unless you're on Super NT and using the wrong firmware. But yeah, fair warning, this is going to look ugly for a bit.
always weird with like the random sound effect that's from the vanilla game, which we normally don't hear any of with MSU packs.
I like it when you get like the entire flute activation song. I think that's my favorite one.
Relkin, you didn't have a green. You have to do the super tile and do it with a green potion to avoid VRAM.
The only reason Chex is in there at all was to steal the key. Yeah, he's just gonna get Iggy in his cave.
Nice.
More like Green's cave, because we're green. Well, it's only green because we're outside. Except we're in desert, so it shouldn't be green.
This is more of a red/blue color, I think.
Green on the edges.
Can we find the chest? There it is.
Do you think Chex will know that's a bottle?
Might take him a while to figure it out. I mean, he has the auto tracker hooked up, but I think he still doesn't look at it. So
Chex didn't like remember that he had powder in the last race.
I think he was scrolling through his items there to see.
Oh, he did it. He actually thought to check his bottle, which is cool. Even if he knew it was a bottle, he might not know what was in it. Chex will be the first into pod, but I think only by a small margin. Skele's going there too. But he's taking a more NMG style way. This is still not it. This is not NMG.
This is I guess it's not the RMG way either. This is the boomer RMG. No.
This is the like.
How long has Kiki been a thing?
Kiki? I actually don't know. It's before my time.
Yeah, me too.
People were probably Kiki eating when they were also manual clipping pod.
It was already a thing for the big all dungeons tourney. Old Kiki's camp, yeah.
It's going for the on-grid dash, but doesn't land on the right pixel.
Dash the frame too far.
Canis Samaria, that's a really excellent item. Skele will get that soon. They're converging. Chex has a 1 dungeon lead on Skele. And I think they've done the same things otherwise. Maybe Skele did back of escape, but I don't think that's enough to make up for the fact that Chex has done desert. But the small difference in the early game is probably not going to matter as much. However, I think the Canis Samaria does put them in potential go mode, depending on their comfort level. Ganon will be easy. Getting to Ganon will probably be fine, because they have Kane. Chex is continuing to open chests. One of the things he might be hoping to find, besides items, is information. He might want to know which dungeons he has to do. So far, Pod being green pendant is the only thing Chex knows. And Skele, I don't think has even been to Sahasrar's closet. So I don't even think he knows that.
It's like Skele's gonna make up some time not picking up every single rupee.
This is true. Chex finds the last shield. Chex decides he's in go mode. Otherwise, he'd be continuing. I'm guessing that he was using.
That did it.
I think he was using the rupees to think. He needed time to decide whether he wanted to stay in pod or not. But one of the scary things about going up against an opponent like Chex is once they're in go mode this early, you have to also be in go mode. Unless you find something significantly good. Oh my god, look at that map check. This is exactly what he wanted to see. 3 pendants. I don't think he wanted those to be the pendants, but seeing where all 3 pendants are, which is Ice Palace and Skull and Pod, that's all the info, so now he at least knows what dungeons he has to do and isn't going to waste time doing any of the wrong ones. I see going this way. I think he just didn't mean to save and quit here. I don't think he knew where he was going until he was already in the mountain cave. So what does Skele find in these? These are the Chex didn't do. Hookshot is exactly what he wanted to find here. This is the thing that makes up for the fact that Skele is not go moding in Chex's. I think Skele has actually gained time from that hookshot. Having hook pushing, even if it's with powder for the rest of the seed, is a significant benefit to Skele. If he can pull off the Silver Arrow's low index stuck pushing, then he can gain time on Chex in almost every dungeon. Skele decided to do the bomb juke to get to Hookshot Cave, which kind of makes sense if you have the hookshot. Not only is this a good extra 4 checks to do, but this also gets Skele to Turtle Rock without the Moon Pearl. And he has the ability to do all of it from the middle.
He doesn't know it's a crystal yet, right?
He doesn't. But he has to find out some way, and that way it might just be...
He knows he can beat it.
Yeah, just start doing the dungeons you can beat. So it looked like Chex was doing Stairmaster, which is a glitch that gets into Eastern and Cave State. Stay there just long enough to open the big key door in the big chest, and then left. I'll do the rest from the front to back.
Well, I imagine he skips right side. There's the other fire rod.
Yeah, Chex will probably only do the chests that are on the way, which in this case is probably just the one. He also might try and do Mire. I don't know if he can do Mire from here. Mire is going to be a little bit difficult for Chex. I think maybe his best bet is to maybe do an overworld conveyor and then just do the back, or do the 2-bottle method with overworld conveyor, which would be a little faster than doing the back, but also a little harder. Skele is not using this as a chance to do Turtle Rock. He is continuing to open chests in Ganon's Tower. Unfortunately, I think there are very few items left that will save enough time for Skele to make up for the fact that he's not completing crystal dungeons. Hookshot was easily the best thing he could have found. Lamp is maybe the next one if he's not comfortable with Silver's powder pushing. Yeah, there are some questions about what is indexing and why do we care about the powder and the lamp. The hook pushing is a glitch that lets you use the hookshot to go out of bounds and go through things. And to use the hookshot in that manner, you have to set a variable called the search index. The search index decides where Ancilla go when they're overloaded. So the core of misslotting is to overload, but also have a high search index and also have something in a high memory slot that either the hookshot or the cane can go in instead. So it'll replace usually a sparkle with the hookshot, and that will cause that, weird behavior that we see with hook pushing. That's a good point, that Chex does have knowledge of one medallion, and Skele just found Bombos here. That could save enough time to make this worth it. Assuming Skele doesn't have the ability to just hook push at will, the medallion could save him enough time to make this worth it. Is Harabiki meaningful? I think it depends on whether Skele decides to do Mire. It depends on how Skele does Mire. I think if Skelly's not comfortable with the sewer pushing and he has to do Mire without the medallion, if it's Quake, then he might want to delete the sewer door instead and do the medallionless Mire using there's a door in the game that will swap your dungeon ID, and that's how you get Mire medallion Mire crystal without the medallion.
Yeah, I was surprised Skele did tile room there while you were explaining everything.
That's a good point. This is a lot of stuff for Skele to be doing. But he must be looking for something. He's gonna set a high search index. So it's not just low indexes. You can set a high search index. It's a single-use thing. You can set it by interrupting a slot 2 powder in a save and quit, or with a screen transition. Swamp Palace, yeah, I think Swamp Palace is not hard for Skele. Because if he does Skullwoods and then he does Desert Argus with the Death Hole, he'll get the warp to the front of Skullwoods and then he can immediately hook push.
Chex is just checking things on the way to doing Helma?
Actually, that doesn't work. Oh, Chex is... Wait. Chex is doing... What is he doing? He's not getting hookshot.
I don't know.
He might just be doing the... What is this?
There's no crystal, Chex.
There's no crystal. Where are you going, Chex? Chex? He's supposed to be in pod. He's not trying to do pod vanilla, is he? No, it's a pendant. Don't know what this is.
Oh yeah, it's a pendant. I don't know what's happening.
Is he? I mean, he's going to Hera. He's unlocking Hera, I suppose, because he doesn't have the hook shot. The Hera big key doesn't matter for Skele as much as it would for Chex. He wanted to do the Taj stuff. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe we'll get to see it.
I think we lost the music.
We did. That's a thing that can happen just by being in the Moldorm arena.
Nice high five here.
Oh yeah. Will you look at that? Skele is doing crystal, and Chex is working on this. This is an example of Skele saving time with hookshot. I mean, unlocking Hera without hookshot can actually be a huge time loss. You don't normally think of Hera as one of the hard dungeons, and it's not like this is particularly hard, but it is a time investment. He might also work on unlocking Swamp while he's here. But yeah, I think he does want to unlock Swamp.
Go everywhere in Cave State and unlock everything. And then go back through and get everything.
Yep, the old mega route. This is how we did it in the year 2018.
That was real fast.
Yeah, it was a really nice clip.
Skele grabbing his ether. Did he read this? He read this before, right? So he knows it's either. Maybe just banking on Mire Medallion.
If he's doing a route that takes him to the front of Mire, which probably is because this is Eastern. This is not
doubling
Eastern.
His chance of getting into it.
Yeah. He might be doing this and then he'll go to Eastern Mire and walk out the door and try to open it. And then hopefully he'll be able to figure out hook pushing because he will be in Mire without the big key. He'll need some way to get to Vitreous. And he won't be able to do that with just 2 bottles because he'll have to spend one in here. And if he didn't spend one here, he has to hook push here. Which I think he can...
Sorry. He did that index setting with the powder save and quit, right? Did he use that?
Oh, that's a good point. I guess he'll do the first one with the hook push and then the second and third one with the bottle. Assuming he doesn't do multiple hook pushes. Skele is still a few dungeons behind Chex. I think he can catch up if he continues to act like he's in go mode. I guess he hasn't done this yet, and this makes sense for him because he doesn't know what his pendants are. It's very much worth his time to go here and check. Otherwise, he might waste an equal or greater amount of time doing the green pendant.
Right. Yikes.
Expert Noldorm fight, nothing went wrong there. Chex is doing something here. I think he's going to delete the sewer door. This is a setup for the medallionless mire.
That Samaria spam really faster than the NMG strat.
I don't know.
Especially with tempered. I think they just died a slash.
Oh, the moon pearl is here. Okay, Skele just found one of the other items that
Oh wow.
saves time over getting the item. He is,
Sewer
you know,
door's gone.
if he continues to luck into these items, he could, you know, make this. He could beat Chex. Just because Chex is ahead now doesn't mean he will continue to be ahead. As Skele gets more and more better equipment. Chex's next goal is, I think, Swamp Palace. Oh, he's doing one check. It is on the way. It is a map. He doesn't need those. The Chex will do Argus and maybe Vitreous here. I don't think he can really do both. I think he has to do one or the other. Okay, he's doing Argus. This is a glitch called Death Hole. So, Death Hole is like a vertical YBA. Instead of moving your dungeon or your room ID, you know, from a neighboring room to the current room, you're instead moving the pit destination to the current room. The first step is to create pits, and that's what that Samaria was for.
You can't see them, but they're there.
Yeah, the pits are there, you'll see him fall into one. He doesn't normalize setup to guarantee that he dies on the right frame. So while it is a frame-perfect trick, he doesn't have to do anything frame-perfect himself, he just has to set up on the right pixel and do a series of inputs that are guaranteed movement. This is the hard part of Death Hole, is actually killing Argus without hookshot. You have to bait Argus in a particular way. That looks good. He's gonna make sure that Argus phases, because if you phase Argus before he does his spinnies, you can risk getting damaged by his puffs when he teleports towards you. And he doesn't have enough health to do that, so he had to guarantee the puffs despawn even if it did take a little extra time.
He didn't get a crystal drop there because he was still in desert and already has the desert crystal.
Chex is getting hearts. He wants beams. What does he want beams for?
We gave up on beams, apparently.
He's not sure where he's going. Oh! Okay, he's going to do Vitreous. This is his, like, signature viddy. You can do Vitreous from Castle Tower, and normally it requires you to climb up a bunch of stories and then do a VRAM spin YBA. You have to, like, lure Vitreous out of the goo while in VRAM corruption, and it's a terrible fight. Chex still has to do that terrible fight, but he doesn't have to do it in VRAM.
Skele got his other pendant info.
So
and
the first...
is still checking which of the red crystals.
Probably took him a little bit to realize that he actually had all the knowledge. So Chex is doing a couple of Samaria corruptions to move his screen ID. I think this also creates pits. He has to fall in one of the pits, which resets his position. I think it's kind of just there to fix his camera.
I don't think I've seen this.
Yeah, this is a Chex special. I don't know if it's new. It's just something he does.
How many times are we going to scroll through the same room?
Don't know. It's probably 3 super tiles worth. It looks like more than that, actually.
It's been like 5 or 6.
Did Skele even use his index? No.
I think something went wrong. Oh, no. Yes.
Huh. He looks like he has the death warp. So, the thing that went wrong, I think, is he just missed a YBA. I think he wasn't supposed to transition through that door because it puts him in a shutter door room. I'm surprised the shutter doors don't open for you, but I think even if they did, it would still be a bad situation for Chex.
So why are there 3 pillars on each side of this doorway?
It's a very special
Some
place.
weird architectural design.
Are they all hookshotable? Probably not. I think that's only boss doors. This is like McMansion architecture. Skele taking full advantage of his Moon Pearl. He's going to probably do Turtle Rock here. He's going to do it from the back. And he has everything he needs to do it vanilla. It's also worth noting that Skele's best option for Swamp might actually be to kill Mothula, even if it is pendant. Because you can use a hook push to get the crystal that way. So Chex...
Oh, this is the video inside a box.
This is horrible. I hate this. But Chex seems to know how to do it. If you don't do this right, Vidi will go out of bounds and you'll lose the fight.
And if you kill him while he's still up there, you can't get the item, so which means you can't get the crystal.
Not only can you not get the item, but you also can't...
Anyway.
You can't save and quit. Like, if you don't get the item, you have to hard reset your game to leave. I think the good thing is that I don't think Vitreous can actually go out of bounds on that side. So as long as you get him on that side, you can eventually get him out of the goo. Yeah, Chex has to avoid the prize because the prize is illegal.
It's a compass?
I think in this version of the randomizer, it's the sword and shield item.
Oh.
In the vanilla game, it's ether.
It's just the compass in cave state?
It's like the cave state compass, yeah. It's a rando bug. It's not supposed to drop, so we ban it. It's also a real sword and shield. We don't want people getting these like glitched fake items that are rando bugs and using them for an advantage. That's a real compass for Skele and a crystal. Chex's next play, I think, is a Swamp Palace. He's going down here just to flood it. And lacking flippers, he will have to do a glitch called Fake Clippers. Fake Clippers is one of the few things we do in No Logic that's actually difficult. Takes a lot of practice to get right. Even if you're doing it buffered, it's still hard. And unlike Skele, he will have to also climb the tower again. Chex is doing this room differently every time, and it's great. Skele continuing to pick up items. I think he really wants to find the lamp or the flippers. He also gets to check the Meyer medallion from the front. He also, I didn't notice this, but he got the Meyer big key. So if it's not Quake, Meyer is free. It's only as hard for him as Dark Meyer.
Right. It is Quake, oh no.
Oh no! Rough. That's kind of sad because that's one of the few things that significantly advantages Skele.
Yeah.
Like Chex didn't even get Ether. He's not even gonna try to use the medallion to get in. He's just going to do, I mean, he already killed Vitreous. And then he'll get the crystal later using that sewer door dungeon.
The door.
Yeah, he already deleted the door, so he's already partway there.
Third bottle.
Definitely go forgets he doesn't have flippers, but that's okay. He probably knew he was going to have to do this and only momentarily forgot. It's a weird amount of arrows. Okay. I mean, it was a normal amount of arrows for not knowing what your index is. But it was a weird, like, slow... I didn't know it would work. He has to do it again, but he doesn't have to do 6 arrows because the first splash delete reset his index to 0. He's gonna do an unbuffered fake flippers. He's gonna make it look easy, but I promise you it's not easy.
And this is why we can't just fake flipper to the front of Swamp in non-glitch modes. You have to swim through the wall.
Yeah, if you didn't swim through the wall, you'll go to that ladder, and the ladder will be solid and you won't be able to get past it.
Are we avoiding the key?
I don't know.
Doesn't need... I guess he doesn't need one.
Doesn't need it, but...
We're just going to Hera from here, right?
It's kind of funny.
He wants to leave it for later.
He doesn't need to not get it either.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Fat Bonk was actually a setup to catch the crystal high. Because it is faster to catch the crystal high when you're catching it here. Thanks to Mr. Beyer for tazzing that for us. Skele is doing another potion-based
Looks like he's opting for the VRAM-less version.
Yes.
Hopefully he has a green.
He is acting like he does, because he's consuming magic on purpose to ensure that he has time to release the spin. This is a special kind of YBA called a spin YBA, and it gives you extra distance. A normal YBA would only take you up 1 super tile. This takes you up, I think, an extra something. It's enough to get to here.
A tile and a half.
Something like that.
Yeah, Chex keeps buying potions and has no trouble with rupees.
This is a stark contrast from his last race.
Yeah, lots of money this dude.
I think last race he and Skele both visited the 50 rupee cave. And they both had single-digit rupees when the race ended. Skele is also doing the death hole. We'll have a safer fight for a couple reasons. The blue male is one of them. But he also has the hook shot, and if he could just do Argus normally if he wanted to. Oh, I've never seen this before.
That's not the right direction.
Wow. I wonder if this is useful for anything. He went the wrong way. I wonder how that happened.
I think he might have been holding left to get out of the door and just kept holding it too long.
I like to hold down left, and I like tap my boots so I can see myself as if I'm in a dark room. So Chex is doing this sequence. He has to pass through this door to swap his dungeon ID from pod to mire. Normally it swaps from castle to sewers.
Maybe Skele just missed the turn around for his dash and accidentally dashed left.
Oh, maybe. Just simply because he couldn't see himself.
I think we can't see any of Link, right?
No, Link is invisible, but you can see his dash dust.
Can see the dust? Oh, well.
Yeah, I use the dust to get out of the door just to see where I am. And when I see the dust in the right spot, I start dashing. I don't think I saw any dust on Skele's side. I think he just walked. Oh, he goes that far? Now he fell in a pit. I think Skele may not be familiar with where the pits are in this room. The glitch map has a new feature, thanks to JST and Can, where you can turn on Samaria pits and see where those invisible pits would be if you were to do glitches that put them there. But one of the things Skele
turn on visible pits in the practice hack.
Yeah, but he's not in the practice hack now.
Right.
So it's good for practice, not great for in the middle of a race. In the middle of the race, you can turn them on in the glitch map and at least see where they are in the room. He's struggling a little. Now he's trying to get bombs. Because he needs more bombs to do this death hole, but he has a bad search index, so he can't splash delete. And the usual method of resetting index is to put a bunch of bombs in the water. Looks like he got it in the end, though. That's a pretty significant setback for Skele, because now all Chex has to do is Turtle Rock. I'm not sure why he's here. I think what he's doing is a spin Samaria corruption. This is a pretty fringe way of getting into the middle of Turtle Rock when you don't have a Moon Pearl. It's also the only place where I've ever seen somebody do a spin Samaria, which is like a spin YBA but with the Samaria corruption. One of Chex's other options for getting in here would have been Overworld Conveyor.
Speaking of which, looks like that's what Skele's setting up.
Yeah, Skele's Overworld Conveyor is for Vitreous. He's getting into the back of Mire. Looks like he gets the conveyor first try, but he has to do quite a bit more to actually get into Mire. It's a pretty complicated setup. He has to keep trying this until he doesn't snap into the corner. This looks good. But I think he overbuffered that last one.
There we go.
And now he has a 2-frame window to release the spin. And if he does it right, he'll fall into the Thieves' Hideout hole. The one that's normally in the Lost Woods.
I was busy watching Skele, and Chex is all the way in Turtle Rock now.
Yep. Chex did the spin Samaria, which took him to the Laser Eye room. And then he exited TR and re-entered it. to get into proper TR state and to get his sprites back.
Uh-oh.
Rex is live on his own stream, and we're in Trinex.
This bridge texture looks really cool on Skele's side.
Yeah, it does.
I think part of it was the top of the pedestal.
Oh, that's a good observation. I didn't notice that.
I don't know what the other half was.
The Chex just got his final crystal, barely held back by lack of hookshot. Skele is still picking away at Meyer. And this won't get him the crystal, this will only get him the boss. Yeah, Skele has not been using hook pushing at all. He must not be super comfortable with it. He did, however...
Powder save and quit again.
He did overroll conveyor here, which is another mislock.
Oh, that was for the conveyor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he at least knows how to set the high search index. I mean, we've seen him do it a couple times. He just hasn't found a reason to use it yet. And I think maybe all the places where he would want to hook push, he would want to be able to chain them, which would require low index setups. Very nice clap out.
Nice.
He even saves time. I don't think Skele meant to do this. He might reset his game.
He's thinking about what he's going to lose if he resets.
This is why Bread Pot is scary. Bread Pot and Hook Speed Hero Pot both have the risk of spending the key by accident. If you're worried about spending the key because you're playing HMG or no logic, I recommend doing Raven Pot because that doesn't put you near the door. Straightforward cannon fight for Chex. Where is that gonna go? Okay, I think Chex is a little spooked by... Yeah. He still gets the double, he just gets it from the other side.
It was earlier he could have waited and slashed him from the bottom to set up a triple, but not knowing how far Ganon was gonna go.
It would have been a little risky to slash from below. It would have been fine, but I wouldn't have done it either. GG to Chex. And Skele has chosen to forfeit. So that will be it for Skele in the No Logic 2024 main tournament.
We are joined by both runners. GG's.
GG.
GG.
So what happened?
question.
Well,
Okay.
checks. Hookshot was in pod. You probably
Oh
might wanted to
no.
know that. That would have been really nice for you, but it didn't hurt you too much to not have it.
Ah.
And Moon Pearl was or eastern right side.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm a little upset I missed those, but okay.
All of
I
those
searched
things
enough.
we thought Skele would be able to catch up with.
So, Skelly, I'm assuming that you may not be super comfortable with low index hook pushing with the silvers.
No, not really. I also was trying to figure out what to do about Swamp Palace. That was the main thing that was bugging me.
Mm-hmm. I think your best swamp, assuming you don't fake Clipper, would have been to kill Mothula and then go to the front of swamp and hook push.
Yeah,
With
that's what
beams.
I eventually was leaning toward. But yeah, I was hoping I would just find the flippers somewhere. So I was just being really, really thorough, opening a lot of stuff.
And Skelly, you didn't go to Helma, did you?
No,
Okay, neither did I.
no, I knew that was a pendant eventually. I did the rest of pod though.
Yeah, I did everything except right side. Kane in Big Chest was basically my go mode, and I chose to keep opening chests for safety, money, and then I skipped the big chest and drop down chest and saved them for later. But of course, I didn't go to the right side.
Big key chest.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
since
I
the
was-
big chest is where Samaria was.
I was mostly just looking for stuff, generically speaking. Just because lately I've been getting burnt by trying to go mode too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If Swamp was a pendant, I think I probably would have tried to speed things up, though. That was the main thing I was worried about.
Mm-hmm. Did you check Meyer Medallion?
I did, and it's the one that I don't have.
Oh, okay. I didn't find Bombos, but I knew where Ether was.
I think maybe that was in GT or something.
Mm. So what do you think, Spleeby and Malmo? Did we cover everything?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there was definitely a seed that favored continuing to open chests a little bit,
Yeah.
but that almost doesn't matter when racing you checks, because you can usually not do that and still be fast, which is a really hard thing for any runner to do.
Turns out
Okay.
checks doesn't need checks.
I appreciate it. No, make him explain hair beetles. I just like to do it a different way every time.
I thought the triple Samaria blast was wild.
Yeah, it's like something I did in Swordless.
So, Skelly, I hope you had a good time in the tournament,
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun.
and I hope to see you again in the next one.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I used up all my beginner's luck in the last Blitz tournament, I think. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. This is a really fun mode to race, and I look forward to just playing in pickup races and stuff, or the monthly asyncs and stuff, until the next one.
Yeah, I want to do more Rain State start, and maybe even Saving Zelda. That's something I want to try.
Yeah, imagine saving Zelda. There is a Green on the async sheet.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Why not tonight?
It's
Mhm.
weekend.
Wait for Avian Art to come back. Do no logic pots and bones. That's what
Hmm.
most of my group did.
I still want to see like an Evian art that's just wacky glitch modes. I think that would be a lot of fun.
It's pretty wild having the maps of both pendant dungeons.
Your
That's
map
kind of
check,
funny.
that was really funny because I was just saying that if you continue to open chests, one of the best things you could find is your pendant info. And
Yeah.
then you walked out and you mirrored and then you checked your map and you just had all three of them on the map. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was also pretty funny to see Skele do the same thing and then immediately walk into the bomb shop guy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't expect to see all three pendants on the map, and we're going to do that next.
Yeah, my brain was a little bit behind. I was like 5 steps away from the bomb shop anyway, so I was already going there. And then as I was talking to him, I was like, wait a minute, I already know this. Like, why am I here?
I've been there.
Also love to see a sub 100 collection rate in no logic. That's how you know
Nice.
it was a good one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not even the lowest that Chex has done in this tournament. So, thank you for running Chex and Skele. Chex will be racing Mr. Buyer in the next round.
Okay.
Have you been up against Mr. Buyer yet?
I don't think so.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Very strong runner and known for using unique tech that a lot of other runners don't go for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm sure we'll find a time next week.
Thanks for watching.
Timer 3.
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.